Hello, everybody, and welcome to Writing Sprint Wednesday. First off, let me know if you can hear me while I set everything up here. There we go. Because I get the vibe that I cannot be heard. Okay, waiting on confirmation to see if I can be heard. Sound is a bit strange. Okay, okay, bear with me. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna figure this out. Uh,
Okay, can you hear me all right now, my friends? Let me know if this sounds better. Better. No headphones for Douglas today. Something's going on. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Writing Sprint Wednesdays with your host, myself, Doug Lansborough. Uh, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I appreciate that you're the group that can help me out with this kind of thing. And I'm glad that I have some backup to go with it. So we are on deck for 3 20-minute sprints today. You'll find the links for those below me in the description. I posted the first one in the chat as well, and then the links to the subsequent ones are in each of those links. I love seeing all the support here. Let me scroll back up and see what's been going on. Who's in here with me today? We have Renee and Sarah and David and B and Ashley and NJ and Reed. And hello, everybody. I'm just listing off names, but hello to everyone there. Hello, Emily. Hello, Iva. TW. Hello. Let me make sure I have it. Hope. Hello. The duck sounds like he's underwater. Okay, excellent. Linda, hello. There, I think I got everyone. If I missed you, call me out on it. I like to be shamed for missing names because it reinforces that I'll never miss it again. All right. What's everybody writing today? I saw. Uh, do we think we're gonna get a Dug It today? I'll think of one. I like to share one every time, so I'll think of something that I've been working on lately, and I'll do that. Hi, Rosalinda. Hello. I completed 2 out of 4 scenes for chapter 11, aiming to finish by this Sunday. That's fantastic. Great job. I am continuing my revisions. I keep going over how much stuff I have to revise, and it's filling me with anxiety now. So I'm getting some writing done here and there, mostly some planning for my next book, but it's revisions all the way for me today. So less writing sprint, more rewriting sprint, I believe. And the first thing that I'm revising is a book I already have out. I'm giving it a final polish so that I can send it out for audiobook production. Because my first one, I got the audiobook out a month ago, maybe. And I want to get the sequel out so that both of them are out before I release the third book in that series. Hope is journaling more about the plot. Love to see that. Reed has no idea what you're writing today. Well, that's okay. A little bit of free writing. Let me know if you need a prompt or something. We'll come up with something together here if people need a prompt. And let me know if the prompt is something that you want for future writing sprints as well. I'm not personally a prompt guy. I'm going to be honest. I like writing what I want to write. And so if I'm going to sit down and write, I want it to be about the stuff that I'm working on currently. But I know how valuable prompts can be for people. So I'm happy to help out. Emily's looking at character arc today. I love that. Very important, very important. Okay, we have 30 seconds here. I'm going to throw this up on screen today. I'm going to take a second here to adjust my computer so that I can play some music whilst I'm editing. Not that you'll be able to hear it, but let's see. B had a great laugh last night. I was watching Stephen King on YouTube. I love it. Sarah has a whole book on writing prompts. That's fantastic, right? Right, we have the 10-second mark. I know there's a bit of a delay. So, everyone, happy sprint. I will see you all in 20 minutes. Bye for now. All right, everybody, and that is our first sprint of the day done. How did everybody do? I got a whopping -4 words, which, hey, is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just copying and pasting my work over to the new sprint, and then I will get the link for the second sprint into the chat. But just a reminder, it is down below me if you're joining me here on YouTube. And you can also join it by clicking the join our next sprint here link at the top left of the sprint we were just in. So let me grab that just to be safe here. Really dragging down the group average this time around. Apologies for that. But I do want to celebrate. I mean, we wrote together 3,649 words. That would be over 3,650 if I weren't around. But that's fantastic. That's a lot of words, right, between the 10 people that were in that sprint. And then take into account everyone who's writing on their own, writing in Dabble in their word processor of choice, pen and paper, however you're doing it. Let's see how everyone did here. Ashley broke that 1,000 word record. Welcome to the club. B got 513, Sarah 413, David 279. Fantastic work, everybody. Ivo 130, awesome. Reed 494, but had some brief distractions. Emily 313, Rosalinda 278, and NJ 300 even. Oh, I love when that happens. All right, I put the second sprint in there. I was trying to think of a Dugget as we were going through that. And I know I've talked about this before, but I need to mention it again, and for a reason. Dialogue tags. Okay. There's a lot of misconception, especially amongst newer writers, as to what a dialogue tag is and how it works. And I'm not going to go over all the punctuation rules and stuff like that. But just remember, a dialogue tag or an attribution describes who says something and how they said it. And that's it. You can tack on more as a compound sentence, right? But if your dialogue tag is not doing that, it's not a dialogue tag. It is just a separate clause. It's a separate sentence. So bear that in mind. And I only bring it up because as I'm revising this book, this is the second book I ever wrote. And so I wrote it 2020-ish, came out in 2021. I didn't know as much then as I did now. And so a lot of my dialogue tags are dialogue tags, but they're using non-said verbs, which is okay. However, the amount that I did it in this book is a little bit excessive. So that's one of the main things that I'm fixing this time around. It's like, bro, you can just say said, right? But that's a discussion we can have after the next sprint, as to whether when you should use said, when you shouldn't use said, etc., etc. Hope got 658, and Linda got sorry for being silent. Don't need to apologize. I opted in planning the next scene on this live session, wrote 1,251 words today. Awesome. NJ, any tips on making voices distinct? A voice can only be as distinct as the character that it is coming from. So it is up to you to figure out who that character is and what makes them unique. And the things that make them unique are going to make their voice unique. Before I dive too much into this, I have a minute and a half before we start. Start with backstory. A lot of stuff is going to be informed with backstory, and we all know I'm a backstory advocate. I love saying focus on backstory, but where they come from can inform dialect, can inform colloquialisms. How they were raised informs how formal they are, what they consider to be crude. The society or culture they grew up in dictates what they believe to be taboo or what they intentionally use to rebel against what they think is taboo. A lot of stuff comes from backstory, and that all influences voice. Profession, education, people that they, run in circles with, all that kind of stuff. Socioeconomic status, and that ties into world building. How does the socioeconomic status of people in your world reflect how they speak to one another, how they speak to people in other socioeconomic rungs? There's voice is huge. Voice is huge. So that's a fantastic question, but not one that I can answer in just a minute. So I listed off a whole bunch of stuff there, but start with backstory, and then go from there. That's a great place to start and see what you can pick apart from that. Awesome question. As always, NJ always coming in with the great questions here. All right, we got 20 seconds, which by the time you hear me say 20 seconds, probably like 15, 12 seconds. So I'm going to pop this up on stage. Go. All right, 20 minutes, and happy writing, and I will see you during the next break. All right, everybody. And so ends our second sprint of the day. I got 6 words written that time, which puts me at a grand total of 2 words when you count the -4 from before. Let me just get the second one set up and then we can do a little, or the third one, my apologies, set up, and then we can do a little bit of chat here. Where is my link? There we go, and dropping it in the chat for you all now. B got 94, Ashley got 656, Hope got 360, Reed got 590 for a subtotal of 1084. Fantastic job, everybody. Planning is complete for Linda, so thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure as always. We'll see you next week. David got 469, Rosalinda 222, and you've got to run. Thanks for joining us too. And Emily 130 MB. Man, everyone's taking up. I don't blame you. You know, real life comes calling sometimes. So thanks for joining, everybody. I have a 390, and Renee deleted 72 words and wrote 206. Fantastic. Sarah 289. Great job. Great job. Okay. Let's do this. We got a few minutes before the next one starts. And of course, I do have to beg, plead. Let me put my face up so you can see how much I mean it. That's how much I mean it. Hit that like button down below if you're having a good time today. If you've gotten any words written or deleted, give me that like, give me a thumbs up. And let me just take a quick look so I can shamelessly promote anything that is coming up in the near future. If you are a premium member, newsletter didn't go out yesterday because some stuff came up, so it will be going out this afternoon. So look forward to that because we do have premium office hours tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern as per usual. So check the inbox. It will be up on W Campus as well in our premium space there. Next week, Hank has a couple of things going on. He's blending time-tested authors with new genres with Claudia Gray on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and is also talking to Peter Swanson at 2 p.m. Eastern on the same day. And that's Murder Mysteries Told in Reverse with Peter Swanson, which is really cool. That's a very fun concept. So Hank's going to be a busy guy. And Abby is out on a well-deserved vacation. So I shall be hosting sprints next Tuesday as well. So you get a double dose of the Doug, if that's something that you want. If not, I don't know, turn the screen off or something. Someone's got to host it. And Hank's too busy that day, so you get me instead. Reed saying, real life is totally overrated. You know, there are some good parts of real life, but things like bills, responsibilities, doing the dishes, folding laundry, out. Give me words instead. Anyone know of a word counter app or something like that to count progress? Well, NJ. I think I know something like that, and it's Dabble. And I know you hear all the time, but of course I have to promote Dabble. It has the best word tracking and goal setting in it. That's actually what hooked me on Dabble before I started writing for Dabble, before I started working for Dabble. It was really the word tracking and the goals that got me hooked, and then everything else kind of sunk its teeth into me, and I was stuck there. NJ, anyone know the prices for Dabble? I mean, I know them offhand, but I know that listing things off doesn't actually help. So instead, I'm going to drop you a link right there. Double down on Doug. Double D. There's the pricing for Dabble. We do have. How much can I tease this? How much time do I have before I have to be writing? 1 minute. Okay, let's tease this as subtly as I can. We have something really big coming up, and it's going to be the feature of the premium newsletter. So if you are a premium dabbler, you're going to get this news before everyone else. But next week, we're going to have an announcement about something cool coming to Dabble that is Dabble related, but is Dabble adjacent, which I'm really excited for. And that's like all I can really say about it. I don't know. Maybe you can piece some stuff together if you've heard me yapping over the last few months, but really big. Yeah, Renee, really big. Boom. Ashley loves the plot grids and character sheets. I love that you became a Dabble Premium member, Ashley. That was fantastic. He's a double D pick. I think our sprint is starting in 18 seconds here, so I'm gonna put it back up on stage and not answer that hope because there's no way in with that one. And I will see you all in 20 minutes. Enjoy our last sprint. Wonderful Wednesday. Talk to you then. All right, everybody, and we are done with our third and final sprint of the day. How did everybody do that time around? I actually ran out of stuff to revise that I had put in the sprint. I added 36 words to that sprint, but then I transitioned over to Dabble and removed 2 words from the next scene that I'm revising. So 34 is my total for that one. NJ saying I'm getting weird web pages for Dabble stuff. The icons are full page and the text is all plain. That's not what I'm getting, but here, let me pop this up on the page for you. So Dabble is a monthly subscription, or you can do a one-time price, but starts at $9 a month, goes up to $29 a month for premium. With premium, you get everything that's included in the Dabble writing tool, but you also get advanced grammar and style checks, in context thesaurus, the read to me, co-authoring, priority support, and of course you get the Doug. Right, everything that I do is for adding more content to the premium experience to help justify that price point, so that you are continuing to learn and continuing to be a stronger author. And then the lifetime access is there, and that gets you premium forever. But that one's on you as to whether or not you can afford that one. So Ashley got 818 that sprint for a total of 2531. Great job, Ashley. Reed 451 for a total of 1535. Fantastic work. David, awesome with 258. Iva 331 for 859 total. Great job. Renee did 15 minutes of editing and got 91 words. Fantastic. Sarah 148, but I think I know where I'm going with this scene now, so that's awesome. Direction is a great thing to have, especially when you're writing. Hope 528 for a total of 1546. Fantastic work, Hope. Emily got 300-ish. Forgot to copy and paste into the third sprint until halfway through. We'll survive on this end. I hope you'll survive too. But that does remind me, make sure to copy and paste everything out of the wordsprints.org client. It saves on your device in that sprint for 24 hours, and then it is gone forever. So make sure you grab that before it's gone. Sir, thanks too much. What a relatable name. Welcome. I've never seen you before. So thanks for joining us for a sprint there. 267 words. What a fantastic username. Yeah, happy to see you here. And if you want more sprints, my pal Hank is hosting sprints tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And then, like I said, you get a double dose of the Doug next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. I will be hosting writing sprints at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll get another 3 done each day. And yeah, we'll get one step closer to achieving our goals. Ashley, better at selling premium than I am. Well, the yearly payment for premium, it's in pounds, but it averages a few cups of coffee a month. Fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to quote you on that one. And to NJ and to everyone else, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure doing sprints with you. It's always a pleasure doing any kind of live events with you all. You're a fantastic group. And I'm glad that we were able to help keep each other accountable, motivate one another, and just get those words written, or in some of our cases deleted. But until then, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Get some more writing in if you can. If you can't, go do whatever you got to do or whatever you want to do. And I will see you around next time. Bye.